and the year before that, but only for 2 months of the last year. What was the driving factor behind going back to NHRA after a season with IHRA?
Yeah, so we switched over to IHRA when Larry Jeffers,
Right.
purchased the IHRA, and I will still stand behind my decision. I think that at that time, Larry and his IHRA were very much about sportsman racers. They wanted to do everything they could for grassroots racing, and they wanted to do everything that they could for local racetracks. I really like their format for going to the World Finals, which was to take all of our track champions, as well as some other champions from certain selected races, and everybody got to go run for the World Finals.
Hey,
I thought that was it. I thought it was a great format.
It was great. We got to go. It was a great time. And they showed how much they cared about racers at that event. It was fantastic. It was great.
So the straw that broke the camel's back when IHRA was purchased from Larry was IHRA announced that they were going to increase the purses for the World Finals, but they were only going to pay half of the racers who showed up instead of paying all of the racers who showed up.
Right.
So the original plan was, I don't remember the numbers, but if you lost first round, I think you got 200. And then every round that you went beyond that, I think you got $100 until you got to the finals, and then the finals got a big payday.
Right.
Yeah, they announced that they were no longer going to pay first round losers. So they were going to take that money and they were going to put that money on top and pay the winners. And, there's, still 2 years later, or, I guess more than a year later, there's a lot of chaos over in the IHRA camp. I'm not going to say that they're not running good races, because I think they are running good races. I've talked to a lot of racers who have been to those races, and they're happy as racers, attending those races. I will say my personal opinion is the owner of IHRA is only doing what is good for him, and he's not necessarily doing what is good for his member tracks and the racers themselves. Every one of his national events, which is where his focus is at a company-owned IHRA track.
Right. Well, and they went and bought Maple Grove and offered to let. I mean, they offered to let. I don't know. They offered to let NHRA race, and like I said, it's just not. There's a lot of tension between the two. You know what I mean? And it's some people are all about NHRA, some people are all about IHRA, and there needs to be some sort of a cohesive way to go about racing both of them. And I know a lot of people do it.
Yeah. So the big thing is, and again, this is just my opinion, I take it for what it's worth, is IHRA is not going to succeed financially or with crowds until they can lure over the main stars of the NHRA.
Right.
So I know that John Force and none of the Force family is driving anymore, but until you get John Force racing and you get Ron Capps and you get the Colettas and you get, every big name that NHRA has, until you get them to show up to an IHRA race, people aren't going to show up. And
I agree with that.
So right now
I
they
agree
have
with that too. I think that's a big part of their
great
growth. If they're
facilities
really
with
going to
nobody-
get somewhere, they're going to have to
nobody
really
watching
pull in
races.
all those big names.
They are very nice
so-
facilities. That's
No,
for
it's,
sure.
it's
Green
good to see
grass
like
and
Lex
all that green
June
paint.
win.
And,
I'm really super
Yeah.
happy about that.
like I said,
It's a
I
great
hope it
team
works
to
out
work,
for them. I hope
root
that
for Gerda and everything, but
they can definitely
You
get
gotta
more
have
spectators.
stars,
And
you
I mean,
know, like
obviously they've
anything
already got
else.
the race
uh-oh.
cars. They've got quite a few
you
cars.
guys disappeared.
Not
Son of
as
a gun.
much as
You
an
lose your
NHRA a bit, but I mean, they still have 8 or
Oh,
9 top fuel
strange.
funny cars and 8 or 9 top fuel dragsters.